just be nice and quiet, because now you're going to get a story.
Then I'll begin. Once upon a time. When Chapman Billies leave the street and drouthy neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late and folk begin to tack the gate, while we sit bowsing at the nappy and getting foe and unco happy, we think now on the lang Scots miles, the mosses, waters, slaps and stiles that lie between us and our hame, where sits our sulky sullen dame, gathering her brows like gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. Thus truth found honest Tam o' Shanter, as he for air a night did canter, old air whom ne'er a town surpasses, for honest men and bonny lasses. O Tam, hadst thou but been so wise as ta'en thee in wife Kate's advice, she towed the wheel thou was a skellum, a blethering blustering dunkrum bellum.
Well done, Alan, that's it.
That frae November till October. I market day that I wasna sober. That ilka meddler with the miller. Thou sat lang as thou had cellar. That every neg was cad a shon. The smith the goat raring fae on. Hold on. That the Lord's house, even on Sunday, that drank with Dicton Jean till Monday. She prophesied that late or soon thou would be found deep drowning doon, or catch we warlocks in the mirth by Holloway's old haunted kirk, a gentle damies. Damies? It garrs me greet to think how many counsels sweet, how many lengthened sages' advice thy husband's free thy wife despise. But to a tale I remark at night, Tam had got planted unco right, fast and engle, bleezy fineling, we weary me squats, that drunk and divinely.
And at his elbow Suitor Joanie, his ancient trusted Ruthie crony, Tam lo'ed him like a very brother. They had been fou for weeks together. The night drave on with sangs and clatter, and aye the ale was growing better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious, with secret favours sweet and precious. The suitor telled his queerest stories. The landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without might rair and rustle, Tam didna mind the storm a whistle. Care, mad to see a man sae happy, he'd drowned himself amang the nappy. As bees flee hame wi' lades o' treasure, the minutes winged their way wi' pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, o'er all the hills o' life victorious. But pleasures are like poppies spread. You seize the flower, its bloom is shed.
Oh, like the snow falls in the river, a moment white, then melts forever. Oh, like the bowlegs race, that flit air you can point their place. Or like the rainbow's lovely form, vanishing amid the storm. Nae man can tell the time or tide, that hour approaches Tam maun ride, that hour o' night's black arch the key stain, that dreary hour he mounts his beast in. And sick a night he tacks the road in, as near poor sinner was abroad in. The wind blew as twad blown its last, the rattling showers rose on the blast. The speedy gleams the darkness swallowed, loud, deep and lang the thunder bellowed. That night a child might understand that Deal had business in his hand. Wheel mounted on his grey mare, Meg, a better never lifted leg.
Tom explained on Truth, Dob, and Mary. Sorry, my English is not perfect. Dispensing mean wind and rain and fire. Wheels holding fast his good blue bonnet, while crying some old Scots sound, while glowering round we prudent cares, lest bookless catch him unawares. Crick always was drawing night, where Gastins and Holest nighty cry. By this time he was crossed the ford, where in the snow the chapman moored, and past the brink and Michael Stein, where dragged Charlie Brack's Nachben and there and through the winds and by the crying. War hunters found the murdered barring, and near the there bound the wheel. War Mongo's mither hung herself before him done pours all his clothes. The doubling storm roars through the woods. The lightnings flash from pole to pole, near and more near the thunder roll. Sorry about that.
Put it there. When glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirk Alloway seemed in a bleeze. Through Ilkabore the beams were glancing, and loud resound mirth and dancing. Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, what dangers thou canst make us scorn. With Tippany we fear nae evil, with Usquebe we face the devil. The swats say reamed in Tammy's noodle. Fair play, he came, D's a boodle. But Maggie stood right there astonished, till the hill and hadn't admonished. She ventured forward on the light, and wow, Tam saw an unco sight. Warlocks and witches in a dance, near Cotillion, Brent knew frae France. But hornpipes, jigs, get it on the question. But hornpipe jigs, sprays and reels put life and metal in the heels. A Winnock bunker in the east, there sat old Nick in shape of beast.
A twist tight, black, rim and large. To give them music was his charge. He escorted the pips and got them a skrill, till roof and rafters did drill. Coffins stood round like open presses. They shot the dead in their last dresses, and by some belvish cantrip slide each in its cowled hand held a light, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the holy table a moderate banes in Gibat errands, toward span lang we and Tristan barons, adrift, new coated far fra the rape. With his last gasp, his gap did grape. 5 tomahawks we, blood red rusted, 5 scimitars we murdered, crusted, a greater which his baby had strangled, a knife, a father throat had mangled, whom his own son all life breathed, the grey hairs yet stuck to the heft.
So, we might a horrible. What was that? I kind of knew. We might a horrible and awful. That's a bit old, didn't that have to go with it? Which even to name would be unawful. As Tammy glowed, amazed and curious, the worth and fun grew fast and furious. The piper loud and louder blew. The dancers quick and quicker flew. They reeled, they set, they crossed, they check it. To lick it, Carlin swat and lick it. And cost his duties to the walk, and ink it at it in his skark. Now Tam o' Tam had been the queen's, a plumber scrapping in his teens. Their starks instead of crushing flanning, been so white 1700 linen. The breeks o' mine o' only pair, they ants they plush o' guide and blue the hair. I would hae given them a 30 hurdles, for our blinking o' the bonny birdos. But whether it bed dams old and drool, Rick Woody hags would spoon them full.
Loping and flinging on the cromach, I wondered in he turn thy stomach, but Tan ken what you food brolly, there was a winsome wench and wally, that night enlisted in the corps, lang after Kent on Carrick shore. For money a beast to dead she shot, and perished money in a bonny boat, and shook brave McHale, corn and bear, and kept the countryside in fair. Her cutty sark hold Paley's hand, that took a lassie she had won. In longitude thy soul is scanty, it was her best, and she was vanity. Ah, little ken thy reverend granny, that shark she caught for her wee nanny. We £12 Scotch, 'twas her riches, we'd ever grace a dance of witches, but here my muse her wing mark cower, sick flights are far beyond her power.
To sing how Nanny's lap and flang, a scuffle jad she was and stang, and how Tan stood like the bewitched, and thought his very een enriched. Even Satan glowed and what the
Start again. I don't know.
fitted, I can't even say that.
Just guess.
And houched and blew with might and main, till first I caper seen another, Tam tin his reason and together, and rouse out, well done, cut his sark, and is an instant all was dark. And Scally had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied, as bees biz out with angry fike, when plundering heeds I'll sail the bike, as often I don't want to say that word, it doesn't look right. Pussies. Lost my place now. Pussies, mortal foes. When pop she starts before the nose, and eager runs the market crowd, when catch the thief resounds aloud. So Maggie runs and witches follow, with Money and Eldritch get it a hello.
Ah, Tam, they'll get thee faring. In hell they roast thee like a herring. In vain thy Kate awaits thy coming. Kate soon will be a woeful woman. Now do thy speedy utmost, Meg, and win the keystone of the brig, and there at them thou thy tail may toss. A running stream they dare not cross. But ere the keystone she could make, the fiend her tail she had to shake. For Nanny, far before the rest, hard upon noble Maggie pressed, and flew at Tam with furious ettle. But little wished she Maggie's mettle. A spring brought off her master's hail, but left behind her own grey tail. The carlin caught her by the rump, and left poor Maggie scarce a stump. Now while this tale of truth shall read, ilk man and mother's son take heed. Whene'er to drink you are inclined, or cuttis hawks run in your mind, think ye may buy the joys o' dear, and remember Tam o' Shanter's mere.
Wasn't that an absolutely fantastic story? So basically y'all got that, didn't you? Right, everybody that read a part of that story, come back to the front. Don't worry, this is the good bit. Right, everybody that read gets one of these fun-sized Mars bars, which you can take home and dip in batter and then fry it. But, yeah, if you open it up. But we have to choose the ultimate winner. So out of these, who was the best? And we're going to judge it by how much you clap and cheer. Margo, come back. Right.
Can I not sit down?
You can in a minute. Right. Let's hear it for Margo. What did you think of Margo? Yeah. What about Wayne? What about Joan? What about Julie? What about Arman? Faz? Howard's not here, but what about Howard? Stuart? What's your name? What about Peter? And what about Rob? Right, it's quite a close one, this. Really close one. You seem to have enjoyed them all. I don't know whether I should get them to read it again. Right, I'm sort of thinking that I'm down to kind of Arman and Faz. So let's hear it for Arman. Let's hear it for Faz. I think Faz has just got it. Come here, Faz. Right, Faz. You get 2 Mars bars to batter and fry.